Let's start with this video. In this video, we are going to talk about what machine learning. What does it mean? What does machine learning mean? Machine learning is umbrella term of solving problem of which development of algorithm by human programmers would be in a co-prerrogative. Instead of problem are solved by helping machine discover their own algorithm without needing the explicitly told what you know to human develop algorithm. Recently, generative artificial neural networks have been able to surpass the result of many previous approaches. Machine learning approach has been applied to large language computer vision, speech recognition, email filtering, agriculture mission, where to go costly develop algorithm to perform needed tasks. The mathematical foundation of ML is provided by mathematical optimization, mathematical program method. Data mining is a related field by the study focusing on exploratory data analysis through unsupervised learning. ML is known for application across business program, predictive analytics. Although not all machine learning is statistically based, computational statistic is important source of field method, history analysis, and other field. The term machine learning was coined in 1959 when author Samuel IBM employee and pioneer in the field of computer pioneer 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 in the field pioneer it's called pioneer in the field of the computer gaming and artificial intelligence. The synonym of self-teaching computer was also used in this time. By the early of 1960, experimental learning machine with punch-time memory called Cybertron had been developed by Raytheon company to analyze sonar signal, electrocardiograms, and speech pattern, and using rudimentary reinforcement learning. It was repeatedly trained by human operator teacher pattern equipment with Go button to cause it re-evaluate enter correct decision. A representative book on research and machine learning during 1916 with Nielsen book on a learning machine, dealing mostly with machine learning and pattern classification. Interest related to pattern recognition continued in 1917 and described by Judah and Hart in 1973. In 1981, a report was given by using a teaching strategy so that the neural network learns to recognize 14 characters, 26 letters, 10 digits, and special four special symbol for computer terminal. Tom M. Mitchell provided a widely provided more formal definition of the algorithm studied in machine learning field. A computer program is said to be learned from experience E with respect to some class of task T and performance measure P. If it performance and task and T, the improve the experience. Definition of task in which machine learning is concerned or offer a fundamentally operational definition rather than defining the field of cognitive term. The following Alan Turing proposal in the paper Computing Machine and Intelligence, in which question can we make things is replaced with the question can a machine do what we think. Modern day machine learning has a two objectives. One is classified data based on a model has been developed. The other purpose is to make prediction for the future outcome based on these models. A hypothetical algorithm specific classifying data may cause a computer vision of models, couple and supervised learning of the train classify and concerned model. A machine learning algorithm stock trading may inform the trader for future potential prediction. Artificial intelligence as a scientific undernover, data mining, machine learning and data mining are often employ the more method and overlap significantly. What while machine learning focus on prediction based on properties learned and data train mining, data mining focusing on properties and lane. Data mining as you know what the different goals on the other hand. Machine learning also employ data mining method unsupervised learning as a processing step to improve learner accuracy. Much of the confusion between these two research communities, which do often separate conferences in separate journal. ESML, PKDD being a major exception, come from the basic assumption that work with in machine learning performance is usually evaluated with respect to ability to reproduce, while in knowledge discovery and data mining the key task is discovering previously unknown knowledge evaluated with respect to knowledge uninformed unsupervised method are easily outperform the other supervised method, while in typical KDD task supervised method cannot be due to the unavailability of the training matter. Machine learning also intimate dies with optimization. Many learning problems are formulated in minimization of some loss function on training set. Loss function expression discrepancy between the prediction of model which in an actual problem instances. For example, in the classification, one want to be assigned a level of instance in the model and trained to be correctly. It predicts the pre-assigned level of the set of the example. Generalization, the difference between optimization and machine learning arises for the goal of the generalization. While optimization algorithm can minimize the loss of a training set, machine learning is concerned with minimizing loss of unseen sample characteristic. The generalization of various learning algorithm is an active topic of current research, especially the deep learning algorithm. Statistic, machine learning and statistic are related field in the field of method. What distinct in the principal goal is statistic drawn population interferences and sample. With machine learning find for generalized predictive pattern. According to Michael A. Jordan, the ideas of machine learning from methodological principle of theoretical tools have been long pre-statistic. He also suggested some of the data science is a pre-solid to call the overall field conventional statistical analysis required to selection of the model which is suitable for the study of data. In addition of the only significant theoretical relevant variable based on the previous experience are included for analysis. In contrast, machine learning is not built on the pre-structured model rather than the data set of the model detecting underlying pattern. The more variable used to train the model, the more accurate ultimately model will be. Leo Bremen distinguishes two statistical model paradigm, data model and algorithm model. Here in algorithm model means more and less machine learning algorithm like random forest. Some statistician have been adopted methods from machine learning to combine fields that can be statistical learning. Analytical computer technique derived from the deep-rooted physics of discover system has been extended largely, including machine learning, analyze the weight space, deep neural network. Statistical physics is thus finding application in the area of medical diagnostic. A core objective of learner is generalized from its experience, generalized in context to ability to learning machine to perform accurately on new unseen example task from having experience a learning data set. A training example come from the generally unknown probability distribution considered representative of space. The learner has built a general model about the space and produce sufficiently accurate prediction in new cases. Do you get what you want to say? The computational analysis of machine learning algorithm has been a performance is a branch of theoretical computer science known as the computational learning theory via probably approximately correct learning model. Because the training set has a finite and future of uncertain, learning theory usually does not yield guarantees for performance of algorithm. Instead, probabilistic bound of the performance is quite common. The wise variance decomposition is a way of quality generalization. For the vast experience of constructive generalization, the complexity of the hypothesis should imagine the complexity of function underlying the data. If hypothesis is a less complex than function, then model has been filtered the data. If the complexity of the model has been increased in response, then the training order decreases. But if the hypothesis is too complex, then the model is subjected to overfitting. The generalization will proper. In addition to performance bound, learning theorists study the time complexity, feasibility of learning. In competition learning theory, a competition is considered feasible if it can be done by polynomial time. There are two types of time complexity result. Positive result that show the certain class of the function can be considered polynomial time. Negative result that show the certain classes cannot be learned in a polynomial time. Approaches. Machine learning approaches can be traditionally divided into three broad categories with correspond to learning paradigm depending on the nature of the signal feedback available in that learning system. Supervised learning, the computer is presented with the example input in the desired output given a teacher that a goal is learned to the unsupervised learning. No level are given to the learning algorithm. Leaving it on find a structure in supervised learning can be a goal itself. Reinforcement learning, a computer program interact with a dynamic environment in which a must perform a certain goal, such as driving a license, driving a vehicle, playing a game against an opponent. As it navigates its problem space, the problem is provided feedback that analogous to reward, which is tried to maximize. Although each algorithm has an advantage and limitation, no single algorithm Work with the problem. Supervised learning. Supervised learning are going to build mathematical model as a setup. The data is known as consist of the training example. Each example has a more input and desired output, also known as supervisory. In the mathematical model, each training example is represented by array or vector, sometimes called a factor vector. Though iterative optimization objective function supervised learning algorithms learn a function that can be used to predict the output associated with new input. Our optimal function will allow algorithm to correct determine the output for input that were not predicted. Type of supervised learning and algorithm include active learning, classification, regression. Classification algorithm is used when the output is restricted to limited set of value. The regression algorithm are used to when output may be not numerical value with a range. Example of classification algorithm: filter input would be incoming email, the output would be name of the folder in which the email. Similarity learning is the area of supervised machine learning closely related to regression and classification. What the goal of the learning? Learn from example using a similarity function that measure how similar related to objective. It's an application of ranking, recommendation system, visual identity tracking, face verification, and speaker verification. Unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning algorithm take a set of data that contain only input, find a structure in data like grouping, clustering, or data. The algorithm therefore learn from the test data and have been labeled, classified, and categorized instead of responding to the feedback. Unsupervised learning algorithm identified commodity 8 in the data and react based on the presence or absence of such commodities in new piece of essential approach. Application of supervised learning in the field of density estimate and statistic, such as finding a probability density function. Though unsupervised learning encompasses other domain involving supervised learning, explain data feature. Unsupervised learning algorithm streamlined a process of survey to graph large ideal based on haplotypes and a gene of interest from pain genome. Cluster analysis assignment of a set of observation into subset so that the observation within the same cluster are similar according to the one on pre-designed criteria, with observation drawn from the cluster are dissimilar. Different clustering technique make different assumption on the structure of data, often denied by the some similarity metric and evaluated. For example, by internal compactness or similarity between members of same cluster, separation difference between cluster. Other method are based on the estimated density and graph connectivity. Semi supervised learning is a fall between unsupervised learning complexity level training data. Some of the training example are missing training level, yet many machine learning researchers have found the unlevel data. Reinforcement learning area of machine learning concerned with how software agent outdoor action in environment as maximum some notion of cumulative reward due to the generally the field is studies many other definitions such as game theory, control theory, operation research, information theory, simulation based on optimization, multi-agent system, Schwann intelligence, statistic, genetic algorithm. In reinforcement learning, the environment is typically represented as a Markov decision process. Many reinforcement learning algorithms use dynamic programming technique. Reinforcement learning algorithms do not assume dimensional reduction. Other types: self-learning, feature learning, sparse dictionary learning, anomaly detection, robot learning, association rule models, artificial neural network. Do you get it? What it want to say? Okay, artificial neural network. Let's read out artificial neural network or connect connectionist system or communicating system vaguely inspired for biological neural network that constitute animal brains, such as learn to perform tasks or considering example generally without being programmed in task rules. And ANN is model based on the collection of connected decision tree support vector machine regression analysis Bayesian network Gaussian process genetic algorithm belief function training model. Typically, machine learning model require high quantity of real data in order to form a model to perform accurate prediction. When training a machine learning model, machine learning engineer need to target and collect large and representative sample of data. Data from training set can be varied: a corpus of text, collection of image, sensor data, data collected from individual user of service, Overfitting is some notch. Okay, around here 15 minutes has been completed in this video. We'll see you next time. Mm, 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 mm. I think there's a light problem during the recording time of video. I want to get some. Yeah. See you next time.